So why are you not successful? That's what we're going to talk about in today's video. Hi, I'm Ben. Welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about Julio Melara's book, Do You Have Time for Success? And if you don't read a lot, that's a great book to start with because it's a short book. It's a quick read and it's extremely beneficial. So give it a look when you get a chance. We're going to roll through here and kind of tell you a little bit from that book and what he's going after. So do you have time for success? In this situation, time is T is for talent. Basically, you have to be talented. You have to continue to cultivate your talent and make sure it's focused on the proper things. If you have specific goals, you want talent to support you achieving those goals. Much of random talent elsewhere, it's nice to have hobbies and those type things, but the talent around what you're trying to be successful in is what you should be cultivating actively and aggressively. I is for information. Obviously, the information that you get right now, there's a lot of misinformation in the world and a lot of noise. So you want to get quality information around what you're trying to do and update that often. Document and update every day for the proper information. M is for motivation. Motivation is difficult. Okay. Sometimes you wake up in the morning, you don't want to do what you have planned for that day. So there are some keys in here on how to sustain motivation. And E is for enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is contagious and it's what keeps the power going on everything else. So to get these things handled appropriately, it's going to be important to set up goals, to get going, set goals, create a standard of work, assess the progress, and correct often. Basically, inspect what you expect, address, and readdress. So this is a quote from Abraham Lincoln that's within the book. Abraham Lincoln, look at that. He only lived 1809 to 1865. He had an extreme impact on the world, okay? Always bear in mind that your own resolution to achieve success is more important than any other one thing. So I put him in there because he was just a man like anyone else and he achieved great things, right? In Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the sun. So if you're going through some tough times, it may just be the season that you're in. And from that training of tough times, what comes from that is experience. And from that experience, you gather hope. And that hope is what gives you strength. But you have to go through tough times to understand what that looks like and understand that natural progression, right? So for everything, there is a season. What do you have to do? You have to desire to be more. Never stop reaching for more. And what that means is this: do more than exist, live. So be practical and be deliberate about your life. Do the things that you want to do. If you're in a situation that you don't want to be in, then it's your job to create a better opportunity for yourself so you can get out of that situation. It is something you have to be actively trying to do. So one of the things we focus on recently in life is a lot of leisure time and laying around. In that time, you're not getting better. You're not impacting the situation you're in, and you're not making it better for tomorrow. So do more than exist, live, okay? Set those goals and strive to do more. Do more than touch, feel. What does that mean? It means when you're living in a situation, be in the situation. When you're there, be present. Be aware of what's going on around you and enjoy those things. You're not promised another day. The people that are in your life may not be in your life tomorrow. So make sure that you're doing more than existing in a situation, that you're living and you're feeling. Do more than touch. Understand the value of the situation and the value of the present. The past you can't do anything about. The future is just a dream. It's down the road. All you can do is focus on today and what you're doing today. Do more than look, observe. What does that mean? It means you're looking at the surroundings, you're paying attention to what's going on, you're enjoying that for what it is. You're just, I would say, keep a positive mindset and observe. Observing other people and observation is the fastest way to learn about a situation. It's the fastest way to make sure you're not going to put your foot in the mouth and also allow you to achieve what you want to achieve because you know the players in the room. So do more than look, observe. Do more than read, absorb. And what that means is when you're reading a book or you're reading a situation, you're reading something else, learn what's going on. Look up the definitions, understand the words, understand the conversation and the lingo. Make sure you absorb the situation that you're in because you'll never be in that same spot again. So you want to learn what you can from it. That way, every step you take beyond it, you're moving in the right direction. Do more than hear, listen. I say this all the time. Most communication is physical, it's not verbal. So you're going to watch how people respond and react. You want to see the emotion. You want to see the words that they select. You want to do all that. Instead of thinking about what you're going to say next or how to drive them down a path, have the conversation and live in the conversation. Listen. Be empathetic. Put yourself in their shoes. See why they're motivated to do what they're doing. Understand. And then once you have that understanding, that's the next one. Do more than know. Understand. You're understanding their motivations and the situation they find themselves in and why you can help that. And it will make you benefit. It will benefit you. It will make you better. One of the things you'll read over and over again, if you want to be successful and wealthy in life, what you have to do is help others achieve their goals. That comes from Benjamin Franklin. That comes from a ton of different people that you can name. Multiple books talk about that. So listen and understand. Recommended reading from the book was actually some pretty good subjects. I just listed the ones here that I know. There were several in there that I was unfamiliar with, but these are the ones that I've read and I've actually recommended here on the channel. How to Stop Worrying and Start Living, great one by Dale Carnegie. How to Win Friends and Influence People, a great one by Dale Carnegie. I think everyone should read that in high school or college. If you're in high school or college, and if you're from another country, if you're from somewhere else, but you don't have the access to schools and colleges, if you can get these two books or get a recording of these two books or something like that, they're excellent. They've been around since the 1920s, so they're roughly 100 years old, and they are fantastic national bestsellers that come up again and again. It just talks about human behavior and situational awareness. So get those two and pay attention to that. It's got a lot about positive thinking. So if you only get two books on the list, those are the two to get. Okay. The next one is How to Master the Art of Selling. Tom Hopkins has a great book there. He talks about the sales process and understanding it's a numbers game. So you have to keep going, you have to stay motivated, and you have to stick to your process. If you stick to your process, you'll start getting results, and those results will add up over time, and it's a numbers game. Great book. Give it a shot. The Power of Positive Thinking by Robert Schuller. In there, he talks about positive thinking is a superpower. I could not agree more. If you are positive, you will not get exhausted as fast as those around you. If you are positive, you will stand when other people are finding it difficult to, because you'll have an outlook where you're trying to take the wins where you can get them. And sooner or later, that gets momentum. And that's how you change the situation. That's how you improve the situation. I talk all the time about how I used to travel the country and fix broken plants and fix broken businesses. I still do that for fun today. The majority of the reason I have success when I go into those places is because I have a positive attitude about it. It's very simple. This is where we're at. If we look at where we're at, and we determine what got us there, then we can come up with steps and goals to get us out of it. It is just that simple. Power of Positive Thinking, Robert Schuller, good book. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen R. Covey, another great book. Talks about the traits. A lot of these things we mentioned in this are in that list. So give that a look. He goes through a bunch of case studies, a bunch of different people, and shows you why they are effective in what they do and how they attract others to their enthusiasm to be just as effective. And the last one there is Positive Thinking Every Day. That's Dr. Norman Vincent Peale. He writes a bunch of good books around motivation and the subjects here, but that's a good one that I would recommend in this subject matter. Motivation is a superpower. To stay motivated, we must constantly fight ourselves. And how do you fight yourself and improve every day? You have to develop sound goals. Without sound goals, you can't move forward. And without achieving goals from time to time, guys, you're not going to stay motivated. You're going to get beat down. You're going to get worn out. And you're only competing against yourself, okay? Competition doesn't matter. Other people don't matter. You matter. What you think, what you feel, what motivates you, and what you were yesterday, that's what you're trying to be today, okay? So you have to set demanding goals for yourself. You have to set realistic and achievable goals for yourself. Don't start out saying, I'm going to be a billionaire because I'm going to do this. That's not how it works. What you have to do is start taking positive steps in the right direction. Have some achievable goals so you can show some wins. Once you post up some wins, you'll stay motivated, and that motivation and that positive attitude is what takes everything else over, okay? Goals must be measurable. You have to understand if you're moving down the right path or not. So they have to be measurable. If you can measure goals, then you can adjust accordingly, and you will know when you've accomplished what you're set out to accomplish. If they're not measurable, then how do you know? It's a shot in the dark, right? Goals must have a timetable and a deadline. I say this all the time. If you don't have a timetable and specifically a deadline, you're not talking about goals, you're talking about hopes and dreams, okay? So without a deadline, without it being written down, goals must be written down, and with a deadline, you are not talking about goals, you're talking about hopes and dreams. So write those things down, have short-term goals and have long-term goals, have it be measurable because you can see how you can measure yourself and see how you're progressing. have to be realistic and achievable, because if you can achieve them, then you'll stay motivated and continue moving down the list to the more difficult items. Okay, here's one slide about the journey. A lot of times people are so focused on the line, the finish line, they're not focused on the journey. Life itself is about the journey, right? You'll cross so many finish lines, you have to just remember every day is a blessing. So this is a great verse here, Psalms 118:24. This is actually on a picture in my bedroom. This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. No matter what situation you wake up in, you woke up. Okay, a lot of people didn't. So take that opportunity to do whatever you can with that day. Some days are going to be limited, and you're not going to have the ability to do much. That's okay. Just do what you can, beat what you did the day before. Realize that you have the talent. Okay, talent is where everything starts. Read and retain. Information is the key to your success, and make sure you're reading and retaining that information. Remember your motivation. Goals will keep these fires burning and keep you fired up. Tough days, goals, and achieving goals will keep you winning and keep you moving in the right direction. Release your enthusiasm. Let people see how enthusiastic you are. That enthusiasm is contagious, and they cannot help themselves. They'll get enthusiastic too. And then the last one is a quote that he says multiple times in the book: life is simple, but it's not easy. Okay, so stay focused. Have these things written down where you're doing what you want to do in a way that is correct for you, and a timeline that is appropriate for you. Okay, and here's the last quote out of the book that I want to leave here. It is a great one by one of my favorites. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. That's Marcus Aurelius. The book is Do You Have Time for Success by Julio Melara. Please give it a look. That book will be the thumbnail of the video. I'm Ben. Be good.